Martin Kpebu is the one who has been leading the group and he's actually joined us on the line. Martin, Council, you're welcome to Eyewitness News.
Yeah, thanks, Maru. Good evening.
Good evening. You fought and government, made concessions and things have been moving on smoothly. What is the issue this time around?
It is nudging on the payment of the coupons and principals that have fallen due. The 5 badges, that's some fell due on 20th of February. They've not been paid. Another badge, 6th March, not paid. 20th March, not paid. 27th March, not paid. And then 30th March, also not paid. So that's what government has been doing to us.
So these are people who had bought government bonds, whose bonds have matured and are expecting that to be paid. That's what you're saying?
Exactly.
And any explanations given so far?
No. So we sought to get the finance minister to commit to a calendar, payment plan. They would have none of it. He's been playing hanky-panky with us. And this is so sad. These are the same bonds that Mr. Furiata and the president benefited from immensely through data banks. The fees and commissions data bank made from these very bonds. Hundreds of millions of Citi. And today, see how they are treating us very shabbily like that. It's not good at all, to say the least.
Would it then be fair to say that the plan by the government is being rolled out using the back door? Does that sound like that? Or this is purely a clerical issue that would be rectified by the banking system?
No, this is not a clerical issue. What was the first phrase you used? Back.
Backdoor. Bringing the debt restructuring program the way the government intended for it to be, through the back door.
Yes, you are possibly right. All they are doing is wagadre. They won't pay. Wagadre, Takashi. They will delay. This way, you make noise, then they will come and pay something small. You see, that's the unfortunate situation. And it's not good. A government must not take its citizens through such high-pressure hanky-panky games. No, very high-pressure hanky-panky games. It's not good. The Constitution is very clear in Article 36 that when government is embarking on development of a country, government should do it to the maximum extent. But government should be mindful of its duty to provide adequate livelihood for the citizenry first. So our livelihood before the other roads and classrooms, etc., that you want to build. Our livelihood first. The first human instinct is self-preservation. We need to live before we can enjoy the roads. And now what government is doing is killing citizens to continue developmental projects. But that's what Article 36 has prescribed. It says no. Yes, by all means, develop Ghana. But when you are doing it, be sure to provide adequate livelihood. So it's even actually government's duty to provide for all those who can afford it. But we know that, if we want to do it literally, so much of our money will go in there, there will be nothing left for development. That's how come government takes care of the elite, the very poor ones. But in between the very poor ones and the rich, the rest of us, we're able to save small. You see, to buy bonds. The bonds don't cost much. 500 Ghana, you get. Even sometimes they tell you, theoretically, they tell you that in denominations of 1 cedi. So 1,000, you get 2,000, etc., etc. So these are citizens who have scraped from the meager resources to lend government so that they can take the interest and use that to pay school fees, buy medication, etc., buy food, etc., etc. And now government is refusing to pay. Meanwhile, these very two top government officials, President Kufuor and Ken Oforiatta, have benefited immensely from these very bonds through data bank. So how can it get so insensitive? You have made your hundreds of millions, and then the little that is due as you don't want to pay. How?
This hanky-panky you talk about, has it always not been the case? Perhaps could it not be that you're raising this issue now because of all the news that surrounded the government debt restructuring programs? Perhaps over the period, people or institutions did not honor, the government did not honor bonds as early as you're expecting it to do this time around, or I'm wrong?
Oh, government used to honor. Yes, we didn't have issues of default, except the 1980s where monies were taken from people's accounts. It's almost the same thing. But that apart, the thing that happened in the 1980s when government was doing such a similar thing. In this dispensation, these bonds, government was honoring them, you see, until now, because they had overborrowed and the interest payments and everything were just swallowing us up. Government is taking advantage not to pay and to play hanky-panky with us. No. Government has money. Umaru, you know the budget. This year we are estimating to spend 227 billion. Of course, obviously, from the look of things, we will not get all that money. So my understanding is that the finance minister has to go to parliament with a new budget. But even that apart, the point is that if you look at our tax revenue, etc., we have enough money to pay individual bondholders. There is more than enough to pay us. Government is just not paying. They are, just using the money to do other things. Yes.
Is it the same government that just went to parliament begging for some revenue bills to be passed because it is in difficult times? The same government that has gone to IMF asking for a bailout because things are hard? The same government that has told us that without the IMF deal, lots of projects, and indeed we are told some of the projects have stalled. Clearly, this government does not have money, Council.
Government has. It's about prioritization. Umari, let's go back. Pull the budget of from the net. You see, we are going to spend 227 billion. That is what we estimated. Obviously, as I mentioned, with the look of things, now we are going to cut back. So the finance minister will reduce. That's even something we discussed long ago. When we went to do the, went to meet him, he set up a technical committee. He asked us to show where they should cut. And we did a full document and showed him all the places they should cut. And he said, that's a good document we should commit to. We haven't seen much from it. Umaru, anybody who tells you that government doesn't have money doesn't know what he's saying. Look at the budget. Look, and let me tell you, there are certain constants. Yes,
but the budgets are just projections. And you also know that about 70% of the budget goes into humans' stomachs. And I'm referring to people who are paid and all of that, and the repayment of loans and all of that. So really just a little amount of that money you're mentioning is going to be deployed by the government for other use.
No, Omaro, that's not it. If you look at this current budget, government intends to spend 23 billion on capital expenditure. Yes, you heard me, 23 billion. Then another 23 on the energy sector, the IPPs, their old money, etc. So, and then some of the reforms they want to do. So 23 there. So we even told government that, look, you can't pay all 23 billion to the energy sector. Yes, we appreciate that there is danger. Last week, Mr. Apeto and the rest, Eliklim, they came to say, hey, government has to pay some critical, some figure is in the daily graphic. You see that there was some critical component that has to be paid. So we're saying that, yes, so you can't pay 23 billion to the energy sector in 1 year. It's never happened. You have to cut down, okay? And then Umaru come most especially to the capital expenditure. The capital expenditure. So the ones for roads, the ones for hospitals, etc. That column is 23 billion. We're saying cut down. Everybody agreed. When the economists came on board, they agreed with our initial arguments that the way forward is cutting down. Everybody says government should cut down, yet government is stalling on that. So, Umaru, anybody who tells you government doesn't have money has not read the budget. Let me show you. I was going to make this point. If you look in the budget, you look at last year, how much did we raise by way of tax revenue? I think my figures have gone hazy, at least about 70 billion. Yes.
Someone from the statistical service just giving me information about 100 billion is going into compensation and interest payment, 23 billion into the energy sector, like you have talked about, to keep the lights on. So what exactly is going to be left? Because the way you're making it sound, it's almost like the government already has this figured out. The money is going to go as soon as it comes, or?
No. The person who sent you, ask him. When you look at the 23 for the energy sector, you can find things to cut. You can find things to cut.
So that you cut the power. That's what it means.
No, at all. You won't cut. There is a critical threshold that you pay them so that the rest you can reschedule. You don't need to pay all 23 billion. Oh, so we have experts amongst us, we've looked at those figures and we've seen that we don't need to pay all the 23 billion this year to keep the lights on. No, some of them are for reforms, etc. It's not everything that we have to pay before the lights stay on. Okay, and then let's come to, did he tell you about the capital expenditure? Ask him, what is the figure for capital expenditure? That is where we are asking for most of the cuts to be made.
And that would also then mean that projects would be stopped or halted.
Yes, so that should be it. So you want to kill, you see the thing we are saying, I know you are playing devil's advocate, but that's the point I was making. You can't kill your citizens in the name of development. You don't have a country if you don't have citizens.
But maybe a few of you would sacrifice for the whole lot.
No, we can't do that. Then President Kufuor and Okufuriata should bring the hundreds of millions they made from the bonds, the fees and commissions.
You keep saying these things. I don't know if you are asked to prove it. You really have any facts to support it.
But Ken Oforiatta went to Parliament and admitted it. And when we are done, I'll post you a document that shows that there are 3 primary dealers for these bonds. Well, you know what the primary dealer does? When they issue the bonds, is the primary dealer who is like a wholesaler. So the primary dealer takes the bonds on wholesale and now gives the other banks. There are 3 banks, 3 institutions: Data Bank, is it Eco Bank, and then Capital? There's another asset management company. Is it IC Securities or something like that?
If you are not sure, leave it so that we don't land ourselves in trouble.
So those, I will send you the document. These are open. They say, Umaru, we shouldn't encourage these things. That can you prove? No, it's an open document.
Okay.
It's in there.
Moving forward, you fought the government as a collective and you chalked some successes or some victory. This particular challenge that you have recorded, what is the approach in dealing with it?
Well,
the non-honoring of the coupons. I mean, what are you going to do now?
So that's how we petitioned the president. He should do something very honorable, because you see, it's not in the president's interest for this issue to continue to fester. Because the more it festers, then the more we remember that his family is holding hundreds of millions of cedis from these same bonds. So it's in his interest to pay us so that we can go quiet. Then he can get peace. If not, as long as we are not paid, we'll continue to remind them daily that they have taken hundreds of millions. Yes, that's the whole thing. So it's in the president's interest to solve this matter quickly, as of yesterday.
Very well. Thank you so much. We'll be watching the space, and please do keep us updated on all steps you take on this.
Yes, Umaru, I will send you the document that shows Data Bank is one of the primary dealers.
Please do. Yes. Thank you so much.
It's from the Minister of Finance.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much.